Good afternoon, everyone. As introduced, I'm Visagan Subburayalu, Senior Director, Cybersecurity at Target. I'm delighted to be here with all of you today. Let me begin setting some context about Target, the scale at which we operate, and the threat landscape that's associated with it. Target is a US-based discount retailer with more than 2,000 stores across the United States and a huge online presence that we call as Target.com. An interesting stat about Target, we have 75% of the US population within a 10-mile radius of a Target store. Target employs more than 400,000 people globally. Target is a favorite destination for US shoppers because of the value proposition, the products that we line up, and the guest centricity that we focus on. Target in India is an extension of Target in Minneapolis, and it's our second headquarters, which caters to a lot of support around digital, marketing, technology, merchandising, supply chain, and much more. Target in India has a growing cybersecurity team that works closely in conjunction with our US teams to defend Target from bad actors. Target has had a phenomenal run in the last few years. Our guest centricity, making sure that everything that we do is focused on serving our guests, has even weathered this pandemic for us. As of last quarter, we have had 21 quarters of consecutive sales growth, driven by our .com business and our same-day services. When you talk about such amount of digital growth, it goes without saying that our threat landscape evolves and changes dynamically. And we focus on building a strong security culture, investing in our team members so that they have the ability to respond and act swift. As I think about foundation of a quick response and ability to act faster on a crisis situation, at Target, we were very deliberate about these 5 initiatives. These are 5 key action items that we focused on to make sure that we are at a place where we are able to swiftly respond to threats. Firstly, we wanted to focus on mature engineering practices. Our journey started multiple years ago, but I can confidently say today, Target has one of the best mature engineering practices that can rival any technology organization. Followed by that is what we call as a continuous culture of innovation. Next up is a hand-in-glove approach of orchestration and automation. And lastly, it's about the people. I would probably spend a little bit of time on each of this and help you understand how we understand our ability to quickly respond to threats and how we focus on enhancing it. Quick response always needs some stable stakes. And to me, it's about having mature engineering practices, having the right operating models that are already in play. At Target, thanks to our leadership team, we embarked on a tech modernization journey multiple years ago. We focused on in-house innovation. We focused on in-house engineering. We moved away from monolithic architecture to more microservices and distributed architecture. What this did is it helped us lay the ground for an entire tech organization to be able to collaborate and solve for problems together. Because obviously we were using the same tool set, technologies, languages, and frameworks. Now, it also is important that Target focused on what we call as enterprise architecture, which is a governing body that makes sure that everybody operates synchronously as a technology organization. Now that we have had these fundamentals in place for the first 2 years, what you see on the screen is our journey in the last 4-5 years around what we call as the culture of innovation. Once you have an organization that has the fundamentals ready, then you focus on building in-house innovation. We are an organization where primarily we are a security organization, but doing software engineering. I'll talk a little bit about each of these themes on context, visibility, and response. Take, for example, Ragnarok. That's an in-house solution that we have built to assimilate large amount of data in real time. Think of MISP, which is our platform for information sharing among our cyber threat intel, incident response, detection engineering teams to talk about IOCs, to talk in a consistent language. Next up, in visibility, I would want to probably highlight Merrymaker. Again, an in-house solution that was focused on stopping digital skimming activities. Echo on the screen is our in-house solution for SIEM. This is our own in-house solution that we've been running for SIEM for the last 5+ years. Moving on to the track of response, Cassini, and by the way, these are just fancy names that we have at Target for our products. So it's not an industry terminology. But Cassini is our case workflow engine that integrates all these tools so that our incident response analysts are able to act swiftly. I think in the previous panel, we had the gentleman talk about how it's important to innovate. These are innovations that are very relevant to Target. That's an important aspect. We don't innovate for the industry. We understand our business as a retail, us as an organization, and focus on innovating what matters to us. This doesn't rule out any vendor solution. It just complements them. When you have an ecosystem of innovation that's constantly improving upon, it makes it easy for you to adapt and be resilient all the time. Now that we have good engineering practices in place, a culture of innovation that's kicking in, it's natural for the organization and for us at cybersecurity at Target to start looking at orchestration and automation more like a hand-in-glove approach. The first one that I want to highlight here is every organization, that includes Target as well, should know what you're looking for, what you're fighting against. That's where our homegrown framework that we call as WAVE, which is a workflow for adversary verification and evaluation, helps us have a common platform that, again, our detection engineering, cyber threat intel teams, our incident responders are able to talk the same language about hashes, compromises, URLs. It becomes very easy for them to collaborate on a common platform. As you think about an incident response, we all use the language of dwell time and containment time. When you talk about an incident, that's a scenario where you already have your preventive control that has failed. From there, you detect scope across the organization, you analyze, and you contain. The efficiency comes in when you're able to understand what I call as reducing the dwell time and improving the containment time, right? So the automation that I spoke about, the innovation that I spoke about, it happens in a way at Target where we focus on automating in the detect zone and in the containment zone. And we allow our analysts, our engineers to do the analytics because that's where human intelligence is at its best. When you can take away the mundane tasks of artifact recollection or scoping from your analysts, then allowing them to do what they're really good at, which is analyzing an incident and having a feedback loop to our systems. And all of this in conjunction help us orchestrate a solution through our in-house solution that I just spoke about as Echo. And I also want to quickly touch upon the team, right? We spoke about engineering principles. We spoke about having a culture of innovation. We saw what that innovation can lead to in your ability to quickly respond. And lastly, none of this matters if you don't have a team that is diverse, skilled, and passionate, right? All this takes backstage. What's important is to build a world-class team where the incident responders, the engineers, and the analysts are able to focus on solving the most important problem in the most easy and quick way possible. At Target, we have a culture that we call as 50 days of learning, right? And that's unique in the industry. It's actually saying our engineers and analysts can take one day every week to learn. That learning could be a conference like this, participating in a hackathon, or doing a CTF. When you can give time to your engineers and analysts to invest in learning, the benefits are multifold. And At Target, diversity is an all-in commitment. We serve diverse guests, which means that it's a business imperative for us to have a team that reflects that. And the power of having a diverse, focused, and an inclusive team is magical, right? Because you're able to get different perspectives, you're able to brainstorm on great ideas, and come up with great solutions along the way. And obviously, it's also important that you get your organization along the way. It cannot be just a cybersecurity engineering organization that's orchestrating, automating, and maturing solutions when the rest of the organization is not in sync with you. So at Target, we have been lucky when we started our engineering modernization to also focus on a security-first mindset. Every team member at Target is a custodian of Target's data. So it's an all-in commitment to make sure that we all defend against all threat actors that try and attack our team member data, our guest data, or our partners' data. As I summarize for this theme, I want to leave you with this thought that anybody's ability, any organization's ability to quickly respond and manage a crisis with ease starts with having mature engineering practices, great operating models, a continuous investment on in-house engineering, and most importantly, knowing what to automate, what to orchestrate, and allowing your analysts and engineers to focus on what's the real problem in the hand. It does take a lot of time. At Target, it took us 5 to 7 years to get here, but it's worth the effort if you're looking at a quick way to respond to any crisis. That's the end of my talk. If you're interested in any of the open source and solutions that you want to chat about, I'll be right around here. Thank you for listening in.